So we're gonna start off introducing who you are. So who are you and what is your story?
Yeah, so my name is Jess. I've been attending Venue Church since about 2021. I'm not confident in that date just because it's hard to remember a time that I wasn't going to Venue Church,
Yeah.
but I know it's only been a few years. It's just the kind of place that you feel like you've always been and you kind of always want to be, so it's hard to pinpoint an exact date when I started going. I grew up in a Christian home and I was actually baptized in 2023.
Fun. How have you always been devoted to being a Christian ever since you were young, or did you feel that wasn't what you wanted to do?
For sure. There's always kind of been being raised as a Christian, there's always that expectation that like you'll be Christian the rest of your life. And I think that journey looks different for everybody. So I've always believed in God, but whether or not I was living connected to him, that kind of changed as I started growing up. So I guess I just kind of got more reconnected with God in like the 2020 area, maybe the 2019 time period, but there was a period kind of in my preteen and teens where I really fell away from God and I was kind of, I just really rejected the thought of him allowing certain things to happen. Um, but I'm grateful that while I rejected him for a long period of time, he didn't leave me. And I'm very grateful for the growth that I've developed over the last couple of years, that's for sure. And the relationship that I have with him now. So it's definitely been a little bit of a roller coaster, and I can't say that it's been a perfect journey, but we all have our own kind of stories that we have to share, and I think that's what's so beautiful about having individual testimonies. And I think that's what's so special about your podcast is that you get to hear everybody's journey and everyone's story and the impact that community and God has made in people's lives. So I think it's really awesome.
Thank you. I enjoy doing it, and I like hearing all the different stories. So it's just
Yeah, I believe it.
number question number 2. What is the biggest miracle God has provided in your life?
I was really excited about this question. And this is probably going to be the one that takes up the most time today because it gets me really excited.
Let's hear it.
So I would have, yeah, absolutely. I'd have to say that the biggest miracle in my life is that God provided me my little niece. So she's 2 years old. She was incredibly special even before she was born, but without a doubt, now that she's here and growing up, she's incredibly special now. Before she was born, her mom and dad were informed by doctors that one of her arms was actually much shorter than the other, and in fact, there was a question of how many fingers she would have on that hand. There was a lot of waiting in the unknown and a lot of praying for her. She was developing in the womb, and I know I personally prayed and I sought prayer for her as she was developing, that God would perform a miracle and that she would be born the way that we all imagine a healthy baby girl to be born. And while I was praying for her, I felt God tell me that we would see a miracle with her. But of course, his plans are not what we imagine. And the miracle is not that she would end up being born with the typical like 10 fingers, 10 toes, as we all kind of expect. So she was born exactly how God wanted her to be, and we're honestly so blessed for it. My niece is the most fun, the most generous, compassionate, silly, smart, beautiful, creative little girl. I could go on and on. And if the only miracle I ever see is her just being herself, then I'm blessed beyond words. I don't know what I have done to be blessed to be her auntie. Her life has been such a gift to my faith in God, and it's really encompassed Psalms 139, specifically like verse 13 to 18, where it talks about how he made each of us, delicate parts of us, he knit us together. His marvelous workmanship is making us wonderfully complex. He knows every single detail about us. His thoughts are precious for us. And I just really relate a lot to my niece because I was actually born different as well. I was born with a cleft lip and palate. And if you don't know what it is, feel free to Google it. I won't take up time going into the medical jargon or anything. But I was definitely born different too. And growing up, there were a lot of insecurities, feeling like I was a mistake, that I was causing a lot of trouble in my family because I required so many doctor's appointments and surgeries and a lot of attention. But my niece has really completely changed my thinking about myself just because of how incredible she is. I think that she's the most special girl in the world, and God thinks about her in that same way. And you can't you can't know that God thinks about her like that without knowing that He thinks about us like that. So it's just been an incredible realization, just getting to watch her be exactly who God wanted her to be, despite what our expectations were for her being born. So she's definitely probably the biggest miracle in my life right now, and yeah, we're also blessed for it.
That's really good. Have you, would you say that how she was born and what the doctor said, did that make you more positive about yourself because now she is this girl that is wonderful and everything you said?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I can't in like good conscience talk to myself the way that I used to now that my niece is here, because I would never, ever, ever, ever want her to think about herself the way that I used to think about myself. So having to change that mindset about myself is really important, especially as I try to be as involved in her life as possible and have that empathy and compassion for being a little bit different than everybody else. So she's definitely had an influence on how I view myself. Like she's just this little 2-year-old and I'm this grown adult, and she's teaching me things, and I'm like, this is just incredible. But I think that's just the beauty of like God's word and God's like design for people's lives, is that like everybody was born different, they were each born special, and he's intentional about how he makes each of us, and he doesn't make mistakes. So to think about that about myself anymore is no longer acceptable.
that's that's just shocking to me. I don't know, it's just something you don't hear a lot, and that's good.
Yeah, for sure.
So, question number 3. How long has God been in your life, and how did you get to know him?
Yeah. There has not been a moment that God has not been part of my life, whether I wanted him in it or not. I I initially got to know him through Sunday school when I was little. When I was 6 years old, I was with my little Sunday school pastor, and I asked Jesus into my heart. And as I kind of mentioned earlier, as I got older and kind of experienced the hills and valleys of life, um, things kind of fell away. But the ways that I get to know him now are much more intentional. So now it's reading the Bible intentionally. It's spending time in worship, and kind of having that soul connection with him through music, and spending time with him, just in some like quiet time or prayer. And of course, all of these are still things that I'm working on getting better at. I'm in no way good at any of them, but I think the growth in that is probably the most important thing. And developing those skills are important too. So it's definitely things that I'm working on, but it's certainly much more intentional that I'm working on getting to know him better.
That's good. At least you're working on it. Some people are not or don't know, so it's good.
For sure. It's hard work, but it's worth it.
Yes, exactly. What direction is God pointing you towards right now?
Mm. This one was a little tricky because I think it's still happening since I started last year. So, as of last year, God has kind of been pointing me towards leading youth, which I have been loving a lot. And this year I'm continuing to lead youth, which is really exciting. So I've
Yay.
been leading the groups. Yeah, I love it. It's challenging, but it's also rewarding, and it's just really cool to see God move through the youth and the kids and stuff. So I love it.
Yeah.
But I'm leading the grade 6 girls, mostly because I know that being in that grade, it was a very difficult time in my life with tons of changes happening, like school drama, identity issues, life changes. Um, and I just want to shine God's love and light in this pivotal time for these girls in their lives and just offer a place of support if they need it, because I know that it would have been like it would have made a huge difference to me had I have had that when I was at that age. So knowing my personal experience, and I'll never kind of put that onto what they're experiencing now because it's very different. I'm not going to age myself too much here, but it's very different from how I went to school. But I would like to work towards making sure that they have a safe place where they're reminded of God's love and God's like plan for them, and that God's never too far away for them. And if that's me, then I'm happy to be that person. So it's been, like I said, very challenging, but yeah, that's definitely where God's kind of pointing me right now is youth.
It's good. It's always good coming from a youth. It's always good to have an adult there for you if it's your youth leader or another youth leader. So yeah, it's great. We're on question 5. We're halfway.
Wow.
What do you love about God and why?
How much time do we have? No, I'm just kidding. I had to really mull this one over to kind of pick at least one, because obviously there's so many things about God that are things that we can love about him. I think in my personal relationship with God and my own journey with God, I'd have to say like his unrelenting pursuit of all of us, especially in the sermon that Pastor Corey was preaching today about the prodigal son and how shepherds will always go out and look for the one lost sheep and leave the 99, and just that image of him always seeking us out to bring us back home. Yeah. And like even in the darkest time of my life, God never left me, no matter how much I tried to push him away. And I'd like to think that when I finally came home, that he kind of celebrated and is happy to find this missing sheep, but now he's kind of empowering me to kind of help him in the pursuit of finding the other missing sheep in this illustration to bring them home so we can just have one big party. So just his pursuit of all of us is just you can't compare it to anything. When I was thinking about this question, there's like the song like Reckless Love by Corey Ashbury or something like that, and that just really really puts the image and the feeling behind how God like runs after us, just wanting to make sure that he can bring us back home. So that's what I probably love most about him, among many other things.
Yeah. It's a common thing for sure. A lot of people have said that it's just good to know that someone's always there for you, or you always have someone there looking after you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Question number 6. Which Bible character is most like you and why?
Oh, this one, I feel like I'm a combination of two characters. So Peter comes to mind initially, and I think it comes to mind for a lot of people, because like Peter, I feel like I do many things with the best of intentions, but not the best of execution. So I always feel like I'm trying to do my best in the pursuit of my relationship with God, or trying to help other people in the name of Jesus and all these things, but my execution is sometimes something to be desired, which I feel like Peter runs into a lot. Luckily, I'm not cutting off anyone's ear, but sometimes I can talk ears off, so maybe that's the best comparison that I have with Peter there. But in the same kind of category of trying to do a lot of things with best intentions. I feel like I also relate to Martha, who was Mary's sister, and there's a story in the Bible about how Jesus comes to their house and is kind of having this like little meeting, is chatting with everyone, and Mary's sitting by his feet just like taking everything he's saying in, and Martha's busy in the kitchen trying to make sure everything's ready for everybody. And I relate to that a lot too, because I can be very distracted and focused on details and the things that I'm doing, but I neglect to understand the importance of having one-on-one time with Jesus, and remembering that as long as I'm spending time with Jesus, I can get things done, whereas like acts without Jesus don't produce things. So while I think Martha's intentions were good and she was doing her best with what she knew and everything, just that reminder that like there's more value in spending time with Jesus and then doing your works and your acts than trying to do them on your own, without having that influence of Jesus and that one-on-one with Jesus. So yeah, probably a Peter Martha kind of combination.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm taking in a lot right now. This is what I do with these talks. I just take it all in.
Yeah. There's so much to learn, and the Bible is so big, and there's just so many people in the Bible where you're just like, oh, I relate to this person, or oh, I relate to that person. And had you have asked me that question like 15 years ago, because I was kind of in a place of like pitying myself, I probably would have said Job, because I would have been just like, oh, woe is me, everything bad is happening, and I don't know why I'm being tested. But having the maturity and the wisdom I have now, I was not Job.
That's good. It's good. It's all good.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, we're gonna move to question 7. How are you doing so far?
So far, so good. How are you doing?
Good. I don't know how to like act during these podcasts, but it's fun. I'll find my rhythm.
Oh yes, you'll find your rhythm. You're doing great, Kelsey.
Thank you. Okay, question 7. What is your favorite worship song right now?
So it's not necessarily one that we sing at venue, but the song that's been on my heart, like I pretty much wake up singing it in my head, which is weird, but like amazingly cool. It would have to be "Goodness of God" by Bethel Music. It's been my battery charging song. It like picks me up, it encourages me and empowers me, and it's just a great song to remind ourselves that like no matter what, God's been faithful. He's always there with us, and will help us with what we need. And yeah, if no one's heard it that's listening, you should go listen to it, because it's a really good song, and you might love it as much as I do.
I'll go listen to it, because I never listened to it either.
Okay, perfect. You should. It's a really good song.
It sounds good. Okay. Question number 8. How do you share God's love?
Oh, this is a good one too. You have really good questions, Kelsey, honestly.
Thank you.
They're real brain scratchers, but it also makes you look inward for sure. So I feel like I share God's love by encouraging people, by cheering them on, by praying for them during difficult times, and being available to listen to them. I just feel like having someone available to make you feel like you're on the right track, and just like have someone to bounce ideas off of is valuable. And I feel like it was part of the portrayal of Jesus, where he was like always there to like listen to people, but also challenging them with like what the Bible says, and just wanting to make sure that they were heading on the right path, but making sure that like he was cheering them on at the same time, and being available to listen, and not necessarily like go right down into the depths with them, but to just make sure that they feel heard and can have someone safe that they can get some recommendations or maybe some resources from, that can kind of help them move out of out of whatever pit they're in or whatever situation they're in, or even have like a referral to someone who can help them. So yeah, just making sure that I'm around for people, I think, is the best way that I can share God's love right now.
That's really good. Yeah. Again, back to the youth leader thing. It's always good to have someone there, like have an adult there that you can talk to.
Yeah.
But it's to everyone. Like it's just youth leader, church people, friends that
Yeah.
maybe not Christian yet or don't go to our church yet. It's
Yeah.
great. Okay.
Well, there's something like so valuable in even just walking up to someone and being like, I love your shirt today, or like, hey, I noticed you did this last week. Like, that was awesome. Like, it doesn't even have to be anything extravagant, but just being like, hey, I don't know if anyone's told you today, but you're stinking awesome. Like, you rock, or just something like that, just to kind of lift people's spirits, because there's so much in the world right now that's telling us that we're doing everything wrong and we're not going to get anywhere. And like, there's a lot of power to be handed out in encouraging other people. So it's much more simple than people think, I think.
Yeah. it's
Yeah.
it's I'm glad that you mentioned that because it terrifies me to try to give someone a compliment because I'm just scared to go up to them. But it's something I need to work on.
Honestly, it's good practice because like it'll make you more confident too. Like
Yeah.
even on youth nights, like Neela is really good about this. She walks around and like gives everybody high fives.
Yeah.
Like she's such a happy person and she's like so encouraging and everything. So even if you just go up to a person and you're just like, I really like your hair, or like you always have such great style whenever I see you on Thursdays, or something like that, because it's not like you'll look saying that. You'll, if anything, someone will be just like, this girl is so nice and I didn't know she even like noticed me. So you can do it.
I can do it.
You got it.
Thank you. Okay, question question number 9. What is one friend you want to bring closer to God? How are you going to get them closer to God?
This one is a really good challenge to me. So I don't really have anyone specific in mind that I want to necessarily get closer to God, but definitely stepping outside of my comfort zone. I would like to work on remaining open so that I can recognize people who I can invite to church to come meet God, or meet the free friends that we have at venue.
Yep.
It's definitely an area that I need to kind of grow and develop a little bit better. Sometimes I feel like I'm a little bit insignificant when it comes to like, oh, I don't want to bother them or anything like that. But I'm just like, it's not a bother. You're inviting them to like a massive family who just like has the best time and like challenges each other and loves each other. And I just need to have more of a perspective of like, why wouldn't I invite someone to get closer to God, or come to venues so that they can get closer to God, or come back to meet God again, or whatever it is. So it's just a mentality switch that I'm working on making so that I can be better at bringing people closer.
That's good. Yeah. It's I have a couple friends that I'm trying to bring, but it's just hard too cuz it's that mindset too. I don't want to bother them. But I got to get over it.
It's a struggle. I mean, I totally understand that for sure. But I mean, like seeing you, Kelsey, and the things that you've been able to accomplish and you've been doing within the church, just like, I don't even know how long I've known you, or like in passing or whatever, but it's just like you have some that it's like that will fuel how you reach out to people. And I'm like, I love that you're doing this podcast. It's amazing, and the things that you're doing, and you're just like so gung ho to do what needs to be done at church. And I have no doubt that you'll find a way to reach out to people and get them to God.
Thank you. This is makes me excited to go back to church, even though that's a week away. Okay.
I know, it's always so far away. That's why we got small group and youth, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, we're on the last question.
Ooh.
So, and then we do the fun trivia at the end.
think I'm most nervous about the trivia, but I'm ready.
Okay. Question number 10. How do you give to your local church?
Yeah. I try to give as in every area that I can. So I definitely give my tithe. So I give 10% of my income before any taxes or deductions. So before anyone else gets my money, whether that's government, personal benefits, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
I give a tenth to my local church for my tithe. I also serve at Venue Church in the cafe, so I get to serve coffee to people and being a youth leader. And I've recently joined the youth worship team, which I'm super excited
Yay.
about. I just love leading. I'm so excited. I love leading people in worship and getting to just encourage people to connect with God in that way because I know how powerful it is. So I'm super excited about that. And then I'm just working some scheduling things out in my schedule so that I can hopefully get in there with a sledgehammer in the new building or a paint roller or something. I just need to get in that new building and get to work. So that's the next thing on my list of things to do. So
Yeah. I remember there's like so many people on the youth worship team. it's it's a lot to take in.
it is a lot to take in, but everybody's got great energy, and I'm excited for this new youth year because it's always like the school year that we have youth. It's like that kind of cycle.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to be a part of such a great team that gets to lead everybody in worship and that sort of thing. So it's great. I'm excited.
It's good. Well,
Mhm.
ending with that, those are our podcast questions, the main ones. So now it's time to do the trivia or a lightning round.
Mm. Okay.
So, you're going to have 30 seconds to respond to each question.
Okay.
You can skip one question only.
Oh, okay, I can skip. I'll try not to skip.
And there's 8 questions. So,
Okay.
okay. Are
Okay,
you
I'm ready?
You ready? Okay.
I'm ready.
Question number 1. What did Pastor Corey start singing when the power went out with the guitar?
Oh. This wasn't that long ago, so that's alarming that I can't remember. I feel like I'm gonna get it wrong. I want to say gratitude?
No, it
No.
was Graves into Gardens.
Oh. Okay.
Question
Sounds
number
good. Now I know.
Question number 2. How many books are in the Bible?
Oh man, Kelsey! I'm getting graded on this. I feel like I should know this too. Oh man. I want to say 60?
You were actually
Not right.
very close. It's 66 books.
Ah, okay, cool.
Okay.
I'll take that for a win.
Question number 3. Name 3 books in the Bible.
Oh, easy. Psalms, Proverbs, Exodus.
That's good. Yes. Okay. Question number 4. What is the name of our most recent sermon at Venue Church? So today.
Oh, today? I don't know if he told us what it was. I know it's the church.
Sorry, I interrupted, but you can just name
No,
the
that's okay.
series if you want.
Okay. It's definitely the Church in the Wild, and I don't know. It was probably something clever, like something about tigers, or just something like. I don't know what he actually called it today, but I know it's Church in the Wild, and then it was like about the prodigal son.
Yes. Now, I should have researched and I should have known, but it was like a sheep story or something. I don't remember, but I had it down.
Ah.
So I don't know. Whoops. Anyways, we don't talk about
I promise Pastor Corey that I pay attention at church. I promise I do.
He's watching this in disapproval. No, no, no.
Yeah, he's just like, why is she leading youth? No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, question number 5. Name 4 out of the 12 disciples.
Ooh. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John.
Yep. Okay. Question number 6. What makes you excited to go to church?
Oh, there's like everything. I love our people. I love our pastors. I love our worship. I love the challenges that I'm kind of offered with the messages that Pastor Corey gives us. Like, there's always something to challenge us, and I think that's so important as we're growing in our faith. The kids, I love seeing all the kids running around and just being so happy to be at church. That's always so cool. I love that.
Yeah. Question number 7. Name 5 out of the 10 commandments. Ugh.
Oh my goodness. Don't murder.
Mhm.
Don't steal.
Yep.
I don't know why this one's coming to mind out of all of them that I could be picking, but don't covet thy neighbor's wife.
Yeah.
Love the Lord your God, or honor the Lord your God.
Mhm. One
Okay,
more.
And then don't have any idols. No idols.
Yep. Okay.
Cool.
Last question out of this lightning round. What is
Ooh, drum roll.
drum roll. What is the first book in the Bible?
Ooh, Genesis.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
That was it. That was the lightning round.
Wow, I did it.
You did it.
Did I pass?
50-50. Just kidding.
Okay, I'll take it. I've got some work to do. That's okay.
Do homework now.
Yep, now I gotta go and watch back to all the sermons of Pastor Corey so I can answer the future questions.
Yes. That would be an evil question. Just name like 5 out of Pastor Corey's like sermon names or whatever. Like out of.
Oh my goodness.
That's actually a good idea. I'm gonna write that down.
It is a good idea. I could probably name one. And it wasn't today's.
I could probably name one too. I could name a baptism one, and then Easter,
Okay.
Christmas.
Ah,
See? Yeah. Cheat code.
there you go. I see how you play this game. I see.
Well, that was it for today. This was it. This was all my questions.
Perfect. Wow. Well, thank you so much for having me on, Kelsey. I'm so excited for you and this journey that you're on with this podcast, and just how, like I said, on fire you are for Jesus, and being a part of like the ministry and reaching people. And I think you're in such a valuable stage of life and age where you can reach a lot of people, and you just do it so authentically and just being yourself that it's a blessing to be able to be at church with you, to serve with you and see you and to chat with you today. Has been a huge blessing and a good challenge too, so I appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, it's good to talk to you as well, and see you at church, see you serving on the youth worship and not kids. Can't think apparently. I mixed you up with someone else, and that is my bad. But
no worries.
Kids is just the first team I think of. I don't know why.
Well, they're a pretty good team, and
True.
the people who serve on the kids team are amazing people. Like they're strong people and great people. So
Yeah.
It's fair for that to be on the forefront of your mind. I'll take that. It's fine.
Okay. Well, do you have any final questions or thoughts or anything?
Just remain curious of people's stories and curious about God. Keep looking into things that you're curious about. Look into Bible. Keep that as your roadmap for whatever you're dealing with or wherever you're going, and God has a massive love letter for all of us, and that's all in the Bible for us. So it's not like He's not providing things for us. He's got it all on paper to start.
Sounds good. Well, this was it. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Kelsey.
You're welcome.